but now with KOLTUNOVA and GONCHAROVA of Russia declaring themselves fit to dive at the last minute, and it really was the last minute. Mexico now are going to be in a scrap for the podium. So 48 marks for them, just below the 50 in the first round, so solid scoring across the board from Mexico. Chen and Jia. China just looks so sensational on these easy dives, as we call them, in the first 2 rounds. I mean, you would expect to see rip entries just about every time.
It's not just that, their form is perfect. The timing is good, but everything they do is exactly the same. They're mirroring each of their moves, and there's no swing. They're not picking up too much somersault or too much movement at the start. Good reverse dives. And if you're sitting side on like a judge, you will see that it's almost perfect with synchronization.
And the judges agree, 8.5s, 9s, 52.80. That's a really good score over the first 2 rounds of dives. China will be happy with that. So optionals to come for them. That's when we get into the high degree of difficulty, spinning and twisting. Russia fitting in this 3rd position. So medals, Mexico, China, Russia could be decided between the 3 pairs diving in sequence. And very aggressive from Goncharova, so she just overcooked it a touch, but KOLTUNOVA again disappears.
Yeah, KOLTUNOVA, I really like her entries. She's sharp, even though she's got that injury. A little bit of the tape is flapping around as well. Just a small bit of splash being thrown up by Goncharova. So the Russians will score quite high. As long as they're around the 50 points, they'll be close to the Chinese. And also the Mexicans going into the very difficult dives, which is the next round coming up.
Just 2 points down there, courtesy of the execution of Goncharova not quite being on. Can't afford to give anything to the Chinese and Mexican divers. The crowd here in the Aquatic Palace will be desperate to see another gold. They thought Zakharov and Kuznetsov's was the last. JASMINE and KAM then for Malaysia. Oh, what a shame. Well, completely out of sync as they left the platform, and then 2 poor entries as well.
Yeah, KAM, closest to her, swings her arms far too fast back. She can't hold the entry. Too much rotation there. Need to jump steeper on the dive to keep the feet from flying over. That didn't happen, and that's a miss for them.
It's down at 42, and that's already quite difficult to recover from. That means already 10, 12 marks lost in the first 2 rounds on the rest of the field. Mackenzie, TWEARDY and Sarah McCready next up for the USA. McCready with the blonde hair furthest away from the camera. Just off the podium after that first round dive. Oh dear, well, a long way from the platform. That caused a few problems, but other technical difficulties as well with that dive.
Yeah, it was TWEARDY who jumped too far away. I was seeing the hips going forwards, moving away, touching at the different times, reaching back slightly out of sync there, and a loose back. It was a shame because of the takeoff. If you're moving away from the ball like that, and look how far away they are from the end of the ball, both of them, it's very hard to get that tight entry.
That spoilt a good start. 41.90 leaves them on 90 points. And remember that Mexico and Russia, China all up towards the 100 and past. CRUZ and CRUZ to finish. Nicoli and Natali saw them in the synchro competition in the 3 metre. Had a relatively low tariff dive sheet, but they did it well. Again, going for that tuck option, Chris.
Yes, I think they've decided to give a different sort of performance, which can work because it is so different looking than the pike dive. They're in control, tucking at the same time, out, holding, reaching back. It's very good technique-wise. Just need a little bit more tension on the reach back, a little bit more tension, especially through the back, just to hold your entry and get rid of the splash.
44.40, so sub 90 for Brazil, but they will have their own goals in this final and a chance to dive against Some real superstars of world diving at the moment. China then over the 100 mark. They lead ahead of KOLTUNOVA and GONCHAROVA. ESPINOSA